Hello friends, welcome back to a new episode of Harstem Hunts Hackers. Today an email was sent in by Arikimayo, who said something along the lines of, I believe this dude's a hacker, he's very weird against my eBay block, he also plays very poor for someone his level, 3100 MMR, and there's just a lot of fairly suspicious moves. That's basically the gist of the general email sent to me by Arikimayo. Now, before we get into it, the player name isn't actually Blind Hand. I changed the name in the replay because I received a lot of replays, and I'm not sure if all of those are actually hackers, because I know how you guys are with imbalance. A lot of you send me an email, oh, this is imbalanced, and then it's just you moving on your own units for 20 minutes straight. And I feel like we're going to get the same now. A lot of you are sending in hacker replays where someone isn't actually a hacker. So I'm anonymizing them to protect these people. If I believe it is a hacker, what I will do, I will just send it through the back channel to Blizzard, basically, and say, hey, I believe this guy is a hacker. Here's replay proof. Look into it. Do with it what you want, and then they can decide to ban them. So, so I don't ruin someone, accidentally. It's just a safeguard. And even if I'm very sure it's a hacker, I will not be revealing their names anymore, is what I've decided. Instead, I'll just be reporting them straight to Blizzard if I feel like it's warranted. All right, with that out of the way, this is the first suspicious thing that was mentioned in the email. Look at this. Here we have Blind Hand, looking at his natural for about 20 seconds straight. Now, you might be wondering, why is that so suspicious? Well, the reason is simple. There's an eBay being built over there. And why would someone look at their own natural for such a long time? I mean, that's a very fair question to ask, right? That is a very fair question to ask. Why would someone do that? Then looks away. Then is sending some workers to chase. Oh, well, never mind. Not to chase the SUV, just to go into the gas. And then start sending a worker down to deal with this eBay. No cybernetic score, just going down for an eBay game. A couple of move commands here, right next to the eBay. Sees the eBay, and then instantly starts attacking it. Now, all of this might look suspicious, but to me, this is the opposite of suspicious. It is actually not suspicious at all. Why is it not suspicious? If you see an eBay being built, you send a worker there immediately. Like, you're not just going to stare. It's like, oh, he's building an eBay. Or, like, that doesn't make any sense. And also, you wouldn't send a worker down right next to it, attack it once, and then move away to presumably take a base on the third. Like, if you knew there was an eBay there, and your plan is to take a base on your third, if there's an eBay block, you would just send it here immediately. Also, you just do an A move if your goal was to attack this downstairs, rather than move commanding right next to it. The first 25 seconds where Hand looks at his own natural, I think he's probably... This guy's 3100 MMR. Maybe he's struggling setting up a camera hotkey. Who knows, Like, how am I supposed to know what these guys think? I believe that he was just struggling with a certain action, or maybe his dog annoyed him, or his mom screamed that dinner is ready soon. Not now, Mom, I'm playing StarCraft. Something along those lines. Like, it doesn't feel like Hand is gaining anything from the cheats, if he is cheating, and also he doesn't seem to be cheating so far. And this was one out of two suspicious things. The second suspicious thing is gonna hit us now, I think, because the Zealot pops out. So Arikimayo wrote in his email that once the Zealot pops out, rather, he starts by sending it down to the eBay, look at this, and then decides to go away because the eBay is cancelled already, okay? Now, I actually want to know if the eBay got cancelled as the Zealot is sent out. Look at this. The eBay has been cancelled at this point, okay? The eBay has been cancelled here. So this send out that we're seeing initially out of the Zealot doesn't make any sense because you see it's not there. Like, he looks at it, clicks it, and then goes away. I think what happened here is that Hand just doesn't have any clue how to deal with eBay blocks. And he's like, oh, is it more important to clear the eBay? Probably. And it's like, wait, I already have a base on the third base being built. Maybe I should just clear the refinery so I can get a faster second gas. I don't even mind that decision. I think that's a fine decision. I don't think this is indicative at all of hacking. Also, someone with... how am I going to say this nicely? I don't think it's possible. Someone with such poor mechanics as Hand, because let's face it, extremely poor mechanics, like floating 900 in the first 3 minutes. I would expect to be curious about what's on the other side of the map. If you have map hacks, I mean, if I am not a very good player, I'm gonna be clicking on the minimap to figure out what my opponent is doing, you know? I'm just gonna be scrolling around. In my mind, at least. Like, this guy, like, he stared for 18 seconds at a building eBay if he was a hacker. Like, surely he was gonna peek to the other side of the screen for at least 10, 15 seconds in a row, no? That's what I'm expecting, at least so far. The build order is not very good. Let's speed this up a little bit. Forge coming down. Double Chronos as well coming down. Love to see it. Completely out of position to deal with these Hellions. Completely out of position. Absolutely nowhere near. But then again, even now that he's being attacked, no, he actually does send some units over in a relatively timely manner. It only took him 5 seconds. So he's completely undefended. Had no clue what was going on. He's actually dealing with this threat pretty quickly. So imagine he had seen these Hellions move out on the minimap. You'd reckon he would have clicked on the Hellions. As a result here, he's gonna lose, what, 10, 12 workers? 12 workers, 13. It's nice control on the cars, by the way, Arikimo. I'm not gonna lie, for a player at, what, 3100 MMR? Not bad at all, I appreciate that. 3 pylons going down. Even Immortal. I saw a Liberator being built on the production tab earlier. I wonder if that's going to come in at some point. Or if that's, you know, if we're just gonna leave it. Where's that lib? I want to see it. Oh, Liberator's here. Okay, once again, just no response ahead of time. Look, look, look. This is actually such a clear tell for me. This is such a clear tell. Look at this. So this Liberator is here moving in. Okay. Bumpy-dumpy-dumpy-dum. Hand isn't seeing it because he has absolutely no clue. He's busy with his Immortal. Absolutely no clue. Bumpy bum. And in the moment he's gonna start losing probes, he almost immediately responds to it. So it seems impossible with his response times to actual threats, to actually losing probes, that if he saw something in the on the minimap with map hack, that he wouldn't respond to this whatsoever. Because his build orders are bad, his macro is relatively bad, the mechanics not great. But the response time to things happening on the minimap or to alerts is actually pretty decent. I'm honestly somewhat impressed. And I feel, at this point, I feel very confident in saying that Hand has made absolutely zero suspicious moves based on the rest of his play. He just seems like a not-so-good player, which is completely fine. Like, the ladder is filled with not-so-good players. That's the beauty of StarCraft. You can play at every level and have people of your level to fight against. And that just seems to me like what's happening here. Arikimo is a little bit better and has a cool build order with Hellions and Liberators and Harass. And Hand is just, you know, living in his own world with cannons in the main and charge coming in and building Immortals. No scouting whatsoever. There's such a fast response here. Like, he just saw it on the edge. That was nice. It's completely out of position for this attack as well. Like, how does it make any sense that he would only use his map hack skills to deal with one instance of Liberator Harass and then never with the instances of Hellion Harass or with the instance of an actual massive attack hitting your natural base? Like, this makes absolutely no sense. To me, this is clear as day. We're just gonna burst through it at this point because I already know what my answer is, my dear friends. I don't actually believe that Blind Hand is a hacker. I believe that Arikimo is a little bit delusional. These were not very suspicious plays. This was the opposite of suspicious. This was normal, non-suspicious, nothing. You wouldn't be investigated because of this. You won because of natural causes. Yeah, there we go. That's it. All right, this was a short one. We can just do another one. I got loads of emails. Let's pop open another map hack hunter. Let's go. Alrighty, friends. The second replay of the day has been sent in to me by Guin Hubert, a regular of the channel. I'm pretty sure I've covered him before in IODIS or maybe multiple times in Rank Roulette. I definitely do recognize his name, maybe as a stream watcher. And he sent me this replay from a pretty decent level, by the way. 4.7k MMR is the alleged hacker here in a PvP. He said, I met this creature on the ladder and it managed to steal some points from me. Some fog of war peeking, some dodgy movement when it comes to dealing with stasis wards, no scouting whatsoever in a PvP, which is pretty crazy in and by itself. So I'm very curious about this particular one. Last game, absolutely not a hacker. Okay, if Blind Hand is a hacker, then I'm the Pope. And I'm not the Pope, I can assure you that. I haven't met the Pope, though. No one has ever seen me and the Pope in the same room. But then again, I don't think they would allow me in the same room with the Pope, because I'm a danger. What was that? You saw that sweet little move with the camera he did there? Like a little turn? Hit a wrong hotkey there. I love just sitting in first person, seeing what they see. You know, it just feels right. There's something nice about it. There's something neat. Absolutely. Okay, couple of gates. Nothing weird except the lack of scouting, but I also don't scout half of my games. So, you know, we can't flame people for doing something that I do 50% of the time as well. I'm not going to be upset about that at all. Yeah, I'm completely fine with that. Ooh, what I am upset about is the lack of a second pylon. That is not great here, Mr. Barco. Hello? Did we forget about the pylon? Did we forget about the pylon, Mr. Alleged map hacker? I think we might have. Honestly, so far nothing really dodgy. Like no peaks quite yet, no fog of war checkouts, nothing of the sort. Absolutely nothing. Okay, double stalkers can't start. Second pylon, warp gate. Probe just roaming around. I think if I was a hacker, I would play I would play adepts first, I think, every game. Because adept movement or adept damage is so dependent on seeing where your opponent is. I feel like only lazy hackers would play stalkers. So if you're a hacker and you're watching this, go for some adepts, man. Come on, get it together. So far, really nothing suspicious yet that I've seen, to be quite honest. No screen peeking, nothing of the sort. Kind of a fan of it. Kind of a fan. Guin Hubert might be wrong here. Guin Hubert seemed very... Ooh. Guin Hubert seemed very sure. So he peeked over here. This is the screen that he peeked. What could he have seen? So I'm not sure how map hack works, but maybe he doesn't have a production tab and can just see that two stalkers are in production if he hovers over the gateways. But he hasn't seen the Stargate yet. So I figure he might have a production tab if he's hacking. Because it's more important to figure out the tech than to figure out what units are coming out of this thing. And I figured they have some type of production tab. I don't know. That's weird, though, to go to the other side like that with your camera. I don't think I ever really do that. I don't think any higher level players really do that. Just moving to the other side. Unless you're making a move command there with something. So it's stalker. They can't stop themselves with the peaks, can they? They can't stop themselves. Look at this. So that was a quick peek there to the two stalkers that we saw. It was like 304, I think. And then he goes over here. I guess this is where he wants to go a move command. But he looked at the... This is the first coincidence. You know, we allow everyone 2 coincidences in a game. You get 2 of those. Like, this is a minor coincidence. Maybe because that is not a bad position to want to go to. Maybe he was thinking, hey, I want to send my 4 or 2 stalkers there. Because that's a high ground. I can get some control of the map from there. Maybe if my opponent walks up that ramp, I can take something out. I wouldn't even mind that completely. I really wouldn't. His build order, by the way, is absolutely perfect. If I knew my opponent was playing Stargate, like if I knew my opponent is playing what Guin Hubert is playing, which is like 4 Stalker Oracle, then this is legit the build that I would want to play. This is it. Like, there's nothing better than this. Except not getting supply blocked because I forget my second pylon. But everything else is perfect. Also not rallying 6 workers into one gas. Generally not a great move. So it has 2 Stalkers in position to deal with an Oracle that's probably flying across the map. Let's see how he moves. I love not knowing what's going to happen so that we can see how he moves. Okay, warps in 2 more Stalkers. So we expect, if he's a hacker, for the Oracle to show up in the main base. Okay, and Stalkers maybe to move towards the natural. Okay, he moves towards his Stalkers now. Is there a threat? Okay, he moved as these are kind of moving towards him. He selected this for a second. He's like, okay, am I still secure? Selects them again. It's looking at this. Guin Hubert is timing this well. Didn't pre-select his Stalkers. He didn't pre-select his stalkers. Did not at all pre-select his stalkers here. That is actually surprising to me. Look at this. Because I was ready to send this as a hacker. But without a pre-select here. Maybe he's just playing it safe. 8 stalkers. I think it's relatively safe. You only need 3, but... Like, a more sensible split. Sensible? More sensible split would be 6-2 or 5-3. You want majority on the low ground because you have 0 information. And there can only be 1 Oracle coming in initially. So 2 stalkers would be good enough. 3 stalkers is optimal. Like, that would be so sick. But look, he's responding too late. This feels like an actual response to the Oracle. Absolutely. Absolutely feels like a real response. It was a coincidence earlier on, or it might have been a coincidence. I'm still suspicious, of course, because, like, let's face it, the build is perfect. The split has been as great as it could be, despite it not being very sensible. Sensible? Not making a lot of sense. Now gonna try to get a Nexus. He's moving his stalkers over there. I should have probably done that faster. Was this prompted by the Oracle moving back and forth or something? I want to see that. So stalkers. No, it wasn't prompted by that. He just wants to get in a better position. Okay. These stalkers back into the main base. Let's grab first person again. Okay. Whoa. What do we think of this, ladies and gentlemen? Let's just look at this in full vision for a second to get a good grasp of what's happening here. So this is coming, this is coming, this is coming. These are selecting, they're moving. This is all out of vision, by the way. Moving here, moving up top. Trying to cut off an Oracle path like this. Sees it not moving anymore and goes in. Which is crazy to do, because if this is the angle the second Oracle flies in from, you're so vulnerable. Even this area is vulnerable to a second Oracle, and second Oracles often go in between bases or right into it. This is very suspicious. So this is the second. This is a major coincidence. This is not a coincidence. This feels fishy. This is seriously fishy. Seriously fishy. So you had one screen peek, fog of war peek, and then we had this, whatever the hell that was. Feeling very good, by the way, for our alleged hacker, our barcodus. I feel very good about this build. He's in a banging spot, not gonna lie. Oracle coming in. Responds relatively slow. But I think he's just bad at responding to threats. I don't think this is a sign of having map hack or not having map hack. He's just not so fast, I think. His APM was quite high, 293. It's not bad. But the response is not so big. What is this? Did he just give up on his natural? Why was the entire move in towards the main base here? Oh, he just F2'd. I guess you knew you're safe, then you can F2. I feel like it's really hard to judge, because I think often people just make big mistakes, like mechanical errors anyway. So if you know where the oracles are gonna go, pre-splitting doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Because you just keep them in a big fat ball. And right now they're over here. So this makes me doubt myself again. Whether our barcode is a hacker or not. Like, who does this? Why would you pre-split? And why with 4? You just do it with 3 if you're just pretending, you know? What was that? I think his mouse just slipped or something, to be honest. It's a camera scroll. Camera doom scroll. Okay, we're just waiting for suspicious movement now. We're waiting for suspicious movement. Absolutely waiting for suspicious movement. Nothing happening. Oh, a bit to the right. Oh. Okay, why did we go a bit to the right there? It's like moving. It felt like we were moving a little bit in position. But these 4 stalkers in the main are messing with my head. Why are they there? Why are they there? I actually don't know. Like, the stalkers in the main make no sense. Because the oracles weren't at all near the main. Okay, now he moved 2 downstairs, but that's what I would do as well. 2 in the natural, 2 in the main. Sends 1 in a stasis. This is something Guin Hubert mentioned in the email, that the single stalker in stasis was suspicious, but maybe he spotted it earlier? Is that possible that he spotted this earlier? It's technically in vision range. I'm not sure if his camera ever panned over there. But then if his camera never panned over there, how would he know? Like, he could have definitely seen it, right? Like, most definitely he could have seen it. I'm also not sure how accurate the camera thing is on the replay. Like, I'm not suspicious of this. I'm really not suspicious of at all. The 2 stalkers in the main, 3rd one being warped in. Oracles are nearby. But this is actually, this play makes sense. This is such a hard one. And we still have the fact that there's no scouting whatsoever. But here also, look, just not being ready for this move. Not being ready for the Oracle flying towards them. I guess he had 2 stalkers there. It's not completely not ready. But still, it was a slow response. The problem is so hard to say what is this dude just being uber slow or just being an actual player. Robo? Robo is terrible here. Or terrible, it just doesn't make much sense because there's no threat. I guess he just wants to attack with a prism. It's gonna move him forward. No, wants to move towards the right. Okay, there was an army. So this is a move that looks suspicious, but is something I would 100% of the time do as well. You know there are 2 oracles, you haven't seen them the entire time. It is absolutely reasonable to expect that in key locations there are going to be stasis wards. I would not walk with my entire army up this ramp. I would do it just like this. And this is 4700 MMR. Like, these are higher level players. So he just goes up. Hey, the only problem that I have is that he's clicking exactly where the stasis ward is. Exactly on the point. That is just highly suspicious, isn't it? And very weird. Okay, moving here. And there's nothing weird about that, really. Like, these stalkers just constantly moving back and staying in bases are really what's pissing me off. It's making it... If it wasn't for that, I would feel so comfortable calling this dude a hacker. But now I don't. I don't at all feel comfortable calling this dude a hacker. That was pretty weird. I would never go here. It's once again just right in the circle, isn't it? Nah, this is... That's such a stupid way to get caught as well. This is like robbing a bank and then getting caught because you're like robbing a pack of cigarettes in a gas station afterwards. You're like 5 million. Like, you could have just bought it. You got a terrible way to go. Yeah, I'm leaning towards a yes again. I'm really leaning towards a yes. Let's take a look at some of the movement here. Like, this is terrible. Oh, okay. This makes sense. That was quick. That was a quick blink. That was a quick defensive blink, wasn't it? Absolutely. Absolutely quick defensive blink. Absolutely quick defensive blink. +2 on the way. I mean, he's also just winning really hard. I think now is a good time to push out, by the way. 5 stalkers in the main is so crazy to deal with oracles. Like, that is so unnecessary. I guess there is a prism as well coming in. Blink micro is not bad either, by the way. But that seems legit, at least. Yeah. It's not like he's hacking with that. I don't think so. This is good. Like, completely not ready for a prism. Or for the warp in. This makes sense because you think that the prism is there. But I have no... Yeah, I'm confused. I'm absolutely confused. This could be an episode without any real hackers. I'm just not sure. Like, this is also just a terrible warp in if you know your opponent is coming in with Stalkers, you know? It's gonna catch it. Can piss off. Like, why would you warp in Templar right into the other guy's face? But then I always give hackers too much, you know, intellectual credit. People always call me out for it. Like, hackers aren't so smart most of the time. That's true. Blink forward, moves back a bit. Hey, the game is over, right? Like, absolutely. Absolutely, this game is over. There's way too many units. Gonna pivot a bit towards the natural. Oh, wait, what? Oh, he caught another stasis. Got the kill on this battery, which is good. We get a win. Not making my life easy here at Barcodus. GG. Alright. I'm not gonna send this to Blizzard, because I don't feel very comfortable. But, as this dude is anonymous, I'm leaning towards a hacker. There's just too many moves. So, we had the Oracle move early on. We had the every stasis ward getting cleared, which is such a weird thing to care about as well, clearing every single stasis ward. And then just the movement tracking on a bit too good with the other guy's Stalker movement. But then there were so many plays that I think would be much easier to deal with hack than it was dealt with here. So I don't feel comfortable 100% calling this a hacker. My confidence level is maybe, I would say 85% or so, 85 to 90%. I think Guin Hubert is right. I think this is a hacker, just a complete lack of scouting, the perfect build order picked as well. Like all of these things, you combine them. Like that is a lot of luck to have in a single game, you know? That is just really, really lucky. Now it's possible, but it's also very unlikely. And especially from a higher level player, I'd expect, like I have a higher standard for scouting. Like I'm expecting more scouting to happen. Like this is practically GM level, like a little bit below GM level. So yeah, I'd say this is a hacker. I think we have one hacker and we have one non-hacker because the first player, absolutely not the case. All right. I think that's just going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this. If you believe you played against a hacker, send an email to me. Write a little story if you want to. Harstem's email at gmail.com is the one that you can use for that. Write hacker in the title. And then next time I want to make a video like this, I can just type hacker in my Gmail box. It's real easy for me. Please tell me what you think of the second one. I'm curious. And if you believe that the first one was a hacker, then it might be time to get checked out if you have a hospital nearby or just your local doctor's office. There's something probably wrong with your brain. Thanks for watching and bye-bye.